hundreds of flights across the country canceled. Bay Area passengers starting to see the effects as the FAA's flight reductions begin. And this is only the beginning. Thanks for joining us this Friday. It's already been a rough day for travelers, and things could get worse over the weekend. The FAA's flight cuts have begun at 40 high-traffic airports. This is an attempt to keep the skies safe as the record-long government shutdown drags on. Here's a map of the airports that were ordered to cut back on flights, which includes SFO and Oakland International. The cuts are happening in phases. So 4% ordered today, increasing to 10% next week. And today, the Transportation Secretary said that could go up to 20% of flights cut if the shutdown does not end soon. Taking a live look at the two Bay Area airports impacted. Passengers at both are currently affected by cancellations and delays. SFO's problem started early. A staffing shortage forced an FAA ground stop on arriving flights, and that led to delays of more than an hour on average. Veronica Macia is live at SFO. Veronica, we're also talking about those cancellations, which are the really rough ones.
Yeah, you know, airlines like United right now, they say they're trying to be as transparent as possible and just reduce the level of stress for their customers. And we've definitely have seen that here at SFO. A lot of people feeling a little bit of anxiety as they arrive to the airport. A lot of people taking a look at the board. That's what they do as they arrive here at SFO. And we know that this has been the mission here of what the airlines are doing. They're doing their best right now to cancel their regional early flights to places like Orange County, Las Vegas, Ontario. They have multiple flights a day to these airports, and that gives them the opportunity to then rebook people on a later flight. United notified customers already of those scheduled flight cancellations for this weekend. They're aiming to give people 3 days notice at least. And right now they say they have open seats for people who are needing a backup plan. A 4% reduction equals 10 flights out of their 300 here at SFO. Things are expected to get worse over the weekend. And even as they ramp up cuts, having to cancel 10% of their flights for airlines like United, that's only 250 for the entire company. And this morning, they told us their teams are trained to handle the reduction.
This situation is, we knew in advance. If it's a weather event or a cancellation due to another situation, it's usually in the moment, so we're reactionary. Right now, this proactive stance that the company's taking, that United's taking, that our amazing technology, we already have situations similar to a winter operation, so we can protect our customers. We're really good at this. 10 flights a day, and as we ramp up, again, this is just like a winter event.
Meanwhile, international flights and flights going from hub to hub, those aren't impacted. And already we know airlines like United are giving people a refund if they ask for one within this period, also eliminating those fees that come with changing your flight. And we also know other airlines are working to make things less stressful for people. But the best thing you can do if you're traveling during this period is to go to the Department of Transportation. They've created a dashboard there for people to know the rules that apply when it comes to getting a refund from either a cancellation, a delay, or even lost baggage. Anne.
All right, good to know. Veronica Macia live for us at SFO. Here's some video from this morning of the flight status board at the Oakland airport. FlightAware says so far to date there have been 27 delays and 12 cancellations in Oakland. And now let's take a look at the FlightAware, what they call the misery map. The red represents the numbers of delays and cancellations at some of the country's major airports. This is the map from 9 a.m. yesterday, so not that much misery, but this is the map from 9 a.m. today. Can we switch that out? Okay, you can see there's a pretty big jump there, especially at SFO. Again, this is happening in dozens of airports across the country, including several around California. One of the biggest disruptions is happening at LAX. The international airport has seen more than 100 delays and 54 cancellations. San Diego International dealing with dozens of delays and 27 cancellations. And Ontario International, east of Los Angeles, has seen a handful of disruptions. And again, that is only so far today. Now, even if you don't fly, this could all still have an impact on you. Air cargo planes used by companies like FedEx and UPS are affected. Officials say the flight cuts will slow down the entire supply chain. Well, in Washington, there is some optimism that a deal could be reached to end this government shutdown. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer just said that Democrats would vote to reopen the government if Republicans agree to a one-year extension of health insurance tax credits. 1 year. He says the ball is in Republicans' courts now. Senate Republicans are pushing to vote on a House funding bill with the goal of amending it to include a long-term appropriations bill. But Majority Leader John Thune says they plan to vote on a bill to pay federal workers first.